To use the Zoom H5 as a user interface, you can use USB power, so you don't need batteries. And if I go ahead and open the Zoom H5, you can see that there are no batteries in it. Go ahead and plug the Zoom H5 into the power, and this will be powered by your laptop or your computer. Now if the Zoom H5 is connected to a laptop or a computer, it will ask you if you want to use it as a SD card reader or an audio interface. In this case, I have connected it to a wall outlet, so it's not asking me, but I can go into the menu and I can go all the way down to USB mode, and you can use the same options over here. Let's go ahead and go on the audio interface. I do prefer using the stereo mode, but you can use multi-track mode. The only reason is, if I go into stereo mode, this has one additional option which I'm going to go over, and you can use either battery powered or USB bus powered, and then you have this in audio interface mode. If you do go into multi-channel mode, you get the channels independently over here, and they will be separate as well. But I am going to go ahead and use stereo mode because I do prefer using it. So when you're using the Zoom H5 as a USB interface, you can go ahead and do a mix of certain channels, and while it's plugged in, you can, in live recording, you can use Audacity to record or OBS to record and use this as a USB microphone. You can adjust the gain live, so it will make a difference. So it will adjust the gain live for each of the channels, so it's all separate, and this way you can sort of mix live as well. Let's go ahead and jump into the menus, and you have tools, which I will not be able to go into because I do not use these. But I will go into the ins and outs. Now this has really good features. In the Zoom H5 you can do quite a bit. So let's go ahead and go into the first one, which is low cut filter. Now this will cut off lower frequencies below 80 Hz, 98, and so on and so forth. So you can get rid of the rumble and the low end that sometimes you don't want in an audio, in our voiceover. So, and you can do the same for the left and the right channel. I leave these off. You also have a compressor and a limiter for all of the inputs. Go on to it, you can have different presets. It's got 3 presets for each, and it's the same for the channel 1 and channel 2. You also have the phantom power for both of these inputs, so I've got it on off on number 2 and on number 1 because I only use number 1. So far I've not really needed to plug in a second microphone unless I'm doing a side-by-side recording and comparison. And you can change the voltage. Now this is running completely off the USB. You can't use 40 volts for microphones. The other thing is we have plug-in power, so this will allow you to use microphones that go plug into the side of the mic of the Zoom H5 capsule, and you can use microphones like the one I'm using right now, which is stuck on top of the camera, using the microphone in, and this has better preamps than the G9, so this will sound better. And you can also use lavalier microphones and other microphones that have a 3.5mm. You also have a gain reduction pad, which is to prevent clipping for the channel 1 and the channel 2, which is down here. I don't use these. And you also have the mid-side matrix, which allows you to adjust the matrix for the mid microphone and also the side ones, and you can change the input levels. Now I don't have a mid-side microphone, so I'm not able to show you this. You also have the monitor, which is when you plug headphones into the Zoom H5. And you also have direct monitor, which is on by default, and you want to keep this on because when you plug in headphones you can do live monitoring of the audio in real time, so you can hear what's going on. You have a loop back. You also have 1 and 2 mono mix. Now if you have the Zoom H5, you'll notice in stereo mode, if you plug in an XLR microphone, it's only one channel. Now this, if you have this on, it will mix them both into mono signals. Now this means when you do plug in 2 microphones, they will be on both of the channels, so you will not be able to separate them in post. But if you have mono mix on, and if you only use 1 microphone, then this is something that you want to keep on because it makes the audio mono rather than being on one channel. You have the line out level for certain devices. You can adjust it, and that's basically it. So it does have quite a few functions in there as an audio interface. Now there are differences between using stereo mode and multi-track mode. I'll go ahead and jump back into the menus, and if you go into direct monitor, you can see in stereo mode it only has an option for on and off. But let's go ahead and jump over to multi-track mode, and if I go into the monitor, you can have a monitor mixer. Now this will allow you to change the monitor level output as well as the pan on the recording, and you can do this for the track 1 and also track 2 individually. Let's go ahead and go on track 2, and we can change the pan, which is on the left side and over to the right side. And you cannot do this in stereo mode because that is mixing down to a stereo track. And you can change how much of volume there is on the track. So when you're listening back and monitoring, you will hear a difference in how you've adjusted it over here. This will help you with indicating certain things that's going on in the recording. So I have plugged my Zoom H5 into my PC, and you can see on the display just right there that is showing up as a stereo input, and that's the one I have selected. I'm going to go ahead and bring a microphone in. So this is a microphone that I'm going to use to record. I'm going to go ahead and press record on Audacity, which is running out back over here. This is a test of the recording, and this is how it sounds with the Zoom H5 plugged in as a user interface. And you can see in the background there is a waveform going on, and that's because I'm recording with this microphone plugged into the Zoom H5.